This is the Horse Radio Network.
This is episode 268 of the Dressage Radio Show on the Horse Radio Network, brought to you by Benefab Products, TotalSaddleFit.com, and EasySignsOnline.com.
This is Reese Koffler-Stanfield from Georgetown, Kentucky.
And this is Philip Parks from Fergus, Ontario, and you're listening to the Dressage Radio Show with our producer, Glenn. Do we have to continue to introduce you, Glenn, or does everybody already know who you are?
I think if they don't know who I am, they haven't been listening very long. That's for sure.
Okay,
Hi,
but we have some new listeners, right?
Yeah, we do.
We love new listeners.
Yeah,
Who comes on once every 3 months. And acts
Hi,
like he's the boss.
Glenn. I'm excited to have Glenn tonight.
How did I
We
know
needed
Philip
some
was going to be
support.
busting on me tonight?
Yes,
Yeah,
Philip,
exactly.
be nice, or we'll mute you.
I know. Okay. All right.
How are you, Glenn?
I have the
Reese.
button, Philip. Watch out.
I know, exactly.
It's good to be back. I missed you guys.
We
Yeah,
missed
we
you
missed you.
too,
We love having you
Glenn.
It's been a while.
It has,
Yeah.
too long.
I have these
But-
other 10 shows I have to do occasionally. So
Sometimes you come with us on a
Priorities,
Thursday night.
huh?
yeah.
But it was a good thing because Philip was running a little bit late from the horse show. And as everybody knows, I am never, ever doing the recording of the show by myself. So
Nope.
we were great to have Glenn on tonight. He saved us earlier in the night. And
Yes.
Philip, you guys ready for the horse show?
We're good. We kicked some butt today, Got those horses
Sweet.
working properly and, had some fun this afternoon. It was good.
Awesome.
Ready for competition tomorrow.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, today I was here at the farm, but yesterday I had the pleasure actually of scribing for young riders, and it was great fun. I really had a wonderful day, and it's always good to scribe.
Who were you sitting in the box with?
So I was with Cesar Torrent, and
Oh, yeah.
he's going to come on the show. I really enjoyed working with him yesterday. He's a lovely, lovely judge, and it was a great experience. And it just reminds everybody, any kind of continuing education you can get is fabulous. And for me, I'm still not riding
Just
yet.
volunteer a little bit of
Yeah.
time, and you get a lot out of it. It's a cool job.
It is, and I'm still not riding quite yet with my foot, so it was nice to go and do something other than I've been teaching a lot, which has been fun, but it was nice to go see some riders, and it was fun to be at the horse park and see all the wonderful riders. So we've got 2 great young riders on tonight, and you'll get to hear from them, both Mallory and Rebecca. We have a junior and a young rider. And you will enjoy them to kind of hear about their experience here in Kentucky at the horse park. So I look forward to sharing that with you and all our listeners later.
Well, maybe Reese, you can give us a little bit of results from the young riders, juniors, and what's going on over there at the park.
Absolutely. So we're recording Thursday night this week. And so we've now done the team test and the individual test. So in the junior division, Molly Paris on Diamant Sky won the junior team test with a 68. Camilla Bergamon on Lowless, 68.7, and Lisa Wilson from Canada. Yay, Philip. Those were actually both
That was
Canadians.
2 Canadians, yeah.
2 Canadians.
Let's
Sorry,
talk about that. Top two out of 3 top placings.
Yes,
Canada.
Exactly. And then
that.
actually, there must have been a tie. No, I'm sorry. So Camilla Bergon from Canada, 70.3
I think
today.
that's Bergeron.
Bergeron. That's why I don't do the
Yeah, there you
names,
go.
Philip. That's why you do them.
I know. I'm just helping.
Molly Paris on Diamant Sky, 68.8. And Alexandra, oh boy, from Canada, I can't even do that one. 67. That's a tough one. Meghij. Wonderful, wonderful. Congratulations to the juniors. And then yesterday in the young rider team test, and I will tell you she had a lovely ride yesterday, was Kathleen Chamberlain and Verdici, 72.1. Anna Buffin on Sunny Boy, 68.9, also a good ride. And Tanya Strasser on Action Time, another Canadian, 68.579. And they were excellent. So we do not at this point have the individual test results from the young riders. I think they're still going. is what I remember.
All
They
day,
went pretty late. It was a pretty
all
late.
day, all night. Hey, yeah.
Yeah, they're flopping around because the stadiums also shared with the jumpers. So the juniors went early today, and I want to say the young riders. We don't have the results yet. They may be just finishing up. So fingers crossed that everyone did well. But enjoyed seeing everybody yesterday, and I hope they had really good rides today. So it was very fun.
Awesome. That's fun. Yeah, a lot of fun.
Yeah. So we have some news from Aachen today. What's going on at
Yeah,
Aachen?
lots of good riding. I guess I'll just give you the results from the big
Okay.
Grand Prix, the 5-star,
Yes.
because that's what everybody wants to know about. Who won? Who won Aachen? Right. Well,
You
who
went
won the
Aachen.
Grand
That's
Prix?
the big one.
Who won the Grand Prix? And guess what? Totalist is back in action.
Yay.
Oh, look at that.
82.3% in in the Grand Prix. Very
Super.
good.
Super.
Second place, also Germany, 81.2%. Damon Hill with Helen London Hagenberg. And Adelinda from Holland, third. Parseval, seasoned
Nice to have him
competitors.
back. Yep.
Yeah, exactly. All warming up for WEG, I guess. Isabel, another German. Bella
Love her.
Rose in fourth. From Sweden, Tina Williamson and Donna Aurelio, 76% in fifth.
We
And
love
then
her.
this is a little disappointing. We got Charlotte Dujardin and Vallegro in sixth. Not the normal placing they're used to.
Yeah.
76.9 there. I guess she had a few mistakes in her test, and that's what can happen. Anyone, any day is not necessarily your best day, and the horse's best day. So it's too bad about that. But I'm sure she'll come back, in the Cur and do a
Yeah,
great
watch out
job.
tomorrow. Yeah. I'm
Yeah,
sure
watch
she'll-
out. I think she'll be riding. And then for the USA, 13th, Laura Graves and Verdatis.
Good girl.
73%.
Yeah, good
Yeah,
girl. That
great
was her
for her,
first
yeah.
big. And
That's a
Canadian.
big show.
That's
Oh
a
my
big show. And it finished in the top 20 is amazing. So good for her. That's pretty amazing. And how did our Canadians do, Philip?
God. We're just scanning results here. I'm not sure all of our whole team was there. David Marcus, 28th in Chevrys
Okay.
Capital, 69.1. That's a good score for him. That's a
Yeah.
little bit higher. I think they're working on improving the tests and doing a great job, obviously, because
Good.
even to be in the top 30 in Aachen,
That's amazing.
there's some very big names, beneath that as well. So,
That's
Nations
amazing.
Cup, Germany first, Netherlands second, Spain third, Great Britain fourth. A little disappointing. And then fifth, Denmark, sixth, United States, seventh, Sweden, eighth, Belgium, ninth, Austria.
Yeah.
So interesting stuff going on. All preparing
Interesting.
for WEG and see what's going
Right.
to happen.
And our Nations Cup team this year was all women. Laura Graves, Adrienne Lyle, Caroline Rothman, and Tina Cognet. So we had all women. And people, it's been all over Facebook. And Stefan actually wrote a wonderful letter today. But Stefan Peters was hospitalized with pneumonia and pleurisy. And so he actually did not ride. And there's a lovely article about his wife, Shannon, who also rides his horses when he travels. And she literally flew overnight, found out, he was in the hospital, or he was going in the hospital. And so his wife came over to take care of him. And it was very sweet how much he said, how much he loved his wife and how thankful he was. And I think his mama was there too. So he put a nice kind of tribute online. So that was really cool. So really, really happy about that. So, not
Wish him
happy
well,
that he's feeling
hopefully,
better.
yeah.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, he's going to get better, and he'll be ready to ride in WEG, and you
Yep.
guys will have a nice, strong team going into the competition.
I hope so. That's the plan. So those are kind of some news from Aachen and from the U.S. So lots of stuff going on this week.
Yeah, so we have a great show. We got those young riders coming up to talk to us, a little bit about that. And then we have Justin Baghai from Total Saddle Fit. It's a new sponsor for us, and he's going to talk about their products and a little bit about saddles. We asked him some listener questions, so it's good. It's a great interview.
Yes, really cool. You'll enjoy him. He was wonderful, and he tells us about the Total Saddle Fit girth, shoulder relief girth, and he does a great job, and you'll really enjoy him. He's a really cool guy and does a lot of saddle fitting. So please, if you have any more saddle fitting questions, Justin said he would come back on the show. So really looking forward to that. So after this commercial break, we're going to start with Mallory Kent. She is a junior rider from Alabama.
Are you tired of treating your horse for soreness? Well, then be proactive. Benefab offers you and your horse a natural remedy to joint and muscle stiffness, inflammation, and circulatory deficiencies. Benefab offers a variety of innovative products, like saddle pads and polo wraps and quarter sheets for your horse, and socks and blankets for you. Simply ride in it or wear it and feel the difference Benefab's ceramic-infused products make. You can check them out online at benefabproducts.com, or you can call them toll-free at 855-957-8378.
Well, I am so excited to actually have one of my friends on tonight, Mallory Kent from Alabama. How are you, Mallory?
I'm really good. I'm so excited to be here.
We're excited to have you. So I have got to quickly tell everybody how you and I met, because I don't remember. So we met at I was doing a clinic in Alabama, and Mallory came with her pony. And how old were you, Mallory?
I must have been 12 at the oldest.
Yeah, at the oldest. I want to say like 11-ish, 10 or 11.
Probably.
Yeah. So you came to this clinic and we had our lesson. And somehow it came out that your nickname was Meep. And I quickly keyed in and I said, What is your nickname? And you said it was Meep. And I said, you're not going to believe this. But at the time, and actually my best mare that I showed, Grand Prix, and she's the mom of my 3 babies, her name is Meep. So we instantly were connected, and I have stayed in touch with you and your family and seen you grow through the junior ranks, and it's super fun. And I actually brought you, was it 2 years ago? You came and actually met Meep in person. So we'll have to.
Yes, last year.
Yeah, we'll have to. Do we have a picture of that? We're going to have to dig that out for the show. But so I've been following you since then. And so I call Mallory Meep because of that. So Meep, I can't wait to hear all about. This is your 4th time at juniors, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So how's it going over at the horse park?
Oh, my goodness. It's going amazing. Everybody's doing so well. The weather has been perfect. It rained the first 2 days, but that was non-compete days. And then it has cooled the park off so much. And we've actually been able to compete in our jackets, which is the first time in all 4 years that I've gone.
Usually at Young Riders, it's like 1,000 degrees.
Yeah,
like,
usually perfect weather and Kentucky Horse Park aren't used in the same sentence ever.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, this morning when you guys started at 7 a.m., I think it was like 51 degrees. Like, amazing.
It was chilly, jacket weather.
Yes, it was jacket weather. So I know all the horses were feeling awesome. So how was Okie today? Or let's start with yesterday with the team test. How did the team test go yesterday?
Actually, yesterday, that could have been the best test that I've ever had. Okie was just so on. He was listening. Wolfgang, my trainer, just had everything lined up perfectly for me. He knew exactly what to work on. He talked me through everything that I needed to do, and I went in there with so much confidence, and I just wrote a phenomenal test.
Good girl. And how did you finish? Not that finishing, is ever the thing, but how did you do?
I actually ended up 8th. I think our team ended up in 7th overall, but it was really fun. I had a great test.
Awesome. So why was it the best ride ever? What made you feel that way?
Just coming in, Wolfgang had prepared me so much for what to do, and he just told me to visualize the test. So all day long, I'm the anchor for the team this year. So that means I go later in the day. So all day I sat in the warm-up and watched rides and just visualized myself doing, the perfect test that I could think of. And when I got in there, I just did everything that I had remembered to do. It's almost like it came naturally, because normally I mess up in the test, but we didn't have any mistakes. So it was really cool.
So the visualization worked. We always tell our listeners that, like, you have to visualize your tests. So I love that you validated that for us.
Absolutely.
I love it. So how did individual day go today?
Okie was a little bit unfocused more today. I think he's a little bit more fatigued with everything that we've done up to this point, but still Wolfgang, again, he knew exactly how to handle that. And he talked me through my warm-up again, and he gave me everything that I needed to go in there. We had a couple mistakes he changed in the counter canter, which totally messed up my scores there. But overall, it was still a really nice test. I got great comments back from the judges. And so I'm ready for freestyle.
Good. So you made it to the freestyle. That's huge.
I did. This year, they've actually moved it from top 15 to top 18 that get to go to the freestyle.
Great. So top 18. So tell us a little bit about your freestyle.
My freestyle is to ABBA. I had Cynthia Collins do it, and she did an amazing job with it. She just knew how Oki moved, and she put the perfect music to it, and he loves it. He perks up, and he goes in there, and he struts his stuff.
Well, tell us a little bit about Oki. We have not brought him into this conversation, and yes, we need to do that.
We do. He is a phenomenal horse. He has a great head. I got him when he was 15 years old, so I've had him going on 5 years now. He just has helped me so much, and as I moved up the levels, I started at first level with him. He was actually a pre-St. George horse when I got him, so I took him all the way back down to first level, and he was such a babysitter. He just took me into that arena and put his head where he was supposed to be. He was so good.
Yeah, he's a lovely horse. And you know, we always recommend and talk about it, Philip and I, and how important really a schoolmaster is. And Oki is that guy. He's fancy, but he was able to take you back. You were really tiny when you got him. Your legs just barely came past. Yeah, you barely came past the saddle pad the first time I saw you ride him. And so you guys have formed just a beautiful partnership, and he has really taken you all over the place. So I know it's hard. Yeah, I know it's hard to look past Saturday, but tell us a little bit about what your plans are in the future with Oki.
My plans, actually, this fall, I'm hoping to do the Grand Prix and get my gold medal.
Wow, on Oki?
Yes, ma'am.
How fun is that? That's awesome.
Wolfgang has been helping me over the past couple of months working on the P-off, and we've actually confirmed all the ones that we need. So fingers crossed on that one.
I have my fingers and toes crossed now, for sure. That's really cool. I love it. So Mallory, talk to us a little bit about how things are at the horse park. This year, it's Pony Club is going on with young riders. So tell us, how is that going?
A lot of traffic, but it's actually really cool. It's fun to see different people come in and all the camaraderie with the teams and how everybody's working together, but there's also different events. And then you get to see the jumpers and the endurance people and the cross-country people and just get the whole experience of it. It's cool to confirm that there are other juniors out there that are riding and working hard, and to see all your hard work pay off is really phenomenal.
So is it festival going? Pony Club's festival's going on right now at the same time?
Championships.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Okay.
And then festival starts, I think, on Sunday.
Next week. Yeah, usually the
Starts on
championships are
Sunday.
the first week, nationals are the first week, and then festival the second week. So
Yeah. So Mallory's right. I mean, the traffic is crazy.
what is there, like 8 million teenagers at the park right now?
Yes.
There are so many kids. The kids have overruled the parents 2-1 for sure.
And trainers and people like
oh
me.
my goodness.
And
Wow.
little packs of kids in matching T-shirts, and
Yes.
then you get all the quiz kids that are wandering around, and
Oh
It's pretty
Yes.
rowdy. It's pretty rowdy. And Briar Fest was last week. So Kentucky has been inundated, or Lexington. There have been a lot of families, but that's pretty cool. That's what we love about the horse park, that we can do that. So,
It's so beautiful. We're so blessed to be there.
Then do you guys get to ride? What stadium do you ride in?
We actually ride in the Rolex, and it's the coolest thing to
Whoa.
walk down that
amazing.
pathway. Yes. Oh my goodness. You just walk in there.
It's beautiful, isn't it? You walk in there, and the young riders ring is depending on how you look, is closest to the seating, and the junior ring, they have you guys over by the fountains. So it's a tough spot. It's a tough spot to be in over there by the fountains. So, but Oki's done a great job, and you guys have schooled over there plenty. So, but it got a few kids yesterday. The fountains got some horses.
It did.
It did. Well, Mallory, thank you so much for coming on and talking to us. And we look forward to hearing. I've got my fingers and toes crossed for the freestyle for you. What time do you go on Saturday?
They haven't drawn yet because the young riders, they may even still be riding now.
Oh my gosh, that's right. That they it's interesting how they split it up because they have the dressage and the show jumpers and the eventers sort of all at the same time up in the stadium. So it's quite a
It's like
free
a
for all over
circus.
there. It is a little bit, isn't it, Mallory?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, Mallory,
fun
before we
circus.
let you go, I have a question. So your freestyle, what kind of music, what kind of freestyle do you do?
My music is to ABBA, so it's Oki loves it.
What you
He
going
just-
retro on us here?
I
Mallory?
know. Did you know about
I'm going
ABBA
old
before?
school.
You
Did
are.
Did you know ABBA before you started doing your freestyle?
Her parents did.
Yeah.
My parents did. I don't think I did.
Are you a fan now?
I am. I think I got. I like it.
Hey, Mallory, don't say that in school, okay? Just don't admit that in school.
No.
Sure.
It would hurt my social status.
Yeah, it would.
I think so. Now, the only reason I knew about ABBA was because of my parents too. So I, don't feel bad. I'm significally
All
older.
right, so I'm the only one on the call that's actually seen them in concert when they were first out. So
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Sorry, Glenn. Yes.
That's
Well, Mallory, we can't wait to hear how you rock it. We will report to all our listeners. I know you're going to have a great time. And I know your block is from 7 to like 10 a.m. So they've got you guys really early on Saturday. So I know you'll do great.
Good luck,
Thank you. Well,
Mallory.
thank you so much for having me.
All right.
Thanks for coming on. We'll talk to you soon. Good luck.
Easy Signs Online is the official sign company of the Horse Radio Network. This week's product highlight are their personalized nameplates. Perfect for horse stalls, tack rooms, lockers, bedroom doors, dog kennels, or whatever you can think of. Choose from hundreds of online graphics to further customize the nameplates from EasySignsOnline.com. Made from 1/2 inch thick solid PVC signboard, these colorful and unique one-sided nameplates are 3.5 inches by 16 inches and are designed for durability, long-term indoor or outdoor use. They are only $39.95 each, and remember, free shipping on most orders over $100. Visit them at EasySignsOnline.com.
Just enjoyed talking to Miss Meep about her ride here at Juniors. And we're going to move right after this commercial break to Rebecca Mingary. She is a young rider from Kentucky. She's going to talk to you a little bit about her experience moving up from juniors to young riders. Well, it is my pleasure to introduce another friend of mine. I get, Glenn, all the fun ladies on tonight.
I
It's
see that.
great. I know. So Rebecca Mingary is our Kentucky Dressage Association junior board member, and I've known her since for a long time. She's from Louisville, Kentucky, and she is competing at Young Riders this year, and I wanted to have her on. Rebecca, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
So I know I was trying to remember when I met you, but you were pretty young. You were not even doing juniors yet. So it's been a while. So tell us about your experience. This is your first time at Young Riders, and you moved up from juniors. You did that for the last 2 years. So tell us, what is it like to be in the Young Rider rank now?
To be a young rider, it's a lot different than the juniors. I feel like there's more pressure. And obviously it's a harder level. So, and I feel like you're also in the big leagues now. And so I think that there's a different feel of going into the competition.
Does it
Sure.
feel like more pressure?
Yeah, I do feel like there's more pressure
Yeah.
to do well.
Yeah, I think there is. I would agree. Actually, when I did Young Riders, there was no junior level. We're not going to talk about when that was.
We
Yeah,
were writing on stone tablets then.
We were writing on
Rebecca.
stone tablets.
Yeah.
Thank you, Glenn. Appreciate that. But we didn't have a junior level, so it was sort of, you would start at your 16-year-old year, and by the time you were 21, you sort of understood it. So what is it like to sort of transition? I mean, that's a huge transition to make.
Yeah, it's been really cool. I've done it with my horse unit code that I've had for 6 years, and it's been incredible just to grow with him together as we started off at training level. So I think this was a huge step together in our progression, and it's meant the world to both of us.
Yeah, no, I think that that's what's so fun about your story is you started at training level and now you've come all the way through the ranks and now you're at the young rider level. So how did things go this week? How are they going for you?
My rides have actually not been the best, but they have been huge learning experiences for both of us. And I think we can take what we learned this weekend and apply it to our competitions later this year. I hope to actually qualify him for I-1 at regionals. So I think that it will transition into what we learned from moving up.
Yeah, I think that's great. I mean, it is such the pressure is so hard, and to go in the stadium, you've shown in the stadium quite a bit, but it's different when you're in the junior ring than the young rider ring. The young rider ring is sort of the main focus of the stadium. So,
right.
So what is it like to have trained a horse and to sort of get to this level? That's really impressive.
It's been really rewarding to have obviously started off really beginner-like for both of us. And so to just see how far we've come along and how much we've learned together has been a really awesome experience.
Well, I congratulate you for that because that's not always the case when you grow up together. Usually one or the other has issues along the way, and for you to get this far, that says a lot about both of you, actually.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. What kind of horse?
He is a Dutch warm blood.
Okay.
And what advice would you give to, okay, you have, this little peeper come up to you with the starry eyes, which happens once you go to young riders, and they say, Rebecca, I want to be you one day. What advice would you give that person?
I would say to somebody who doesn't have a horse to get a schooled horse because it's really hard to grow up together. And I would also tell them to not give up because you will have days where you only have 50% rides, and those are the ones that turn you into a better rider.
I like that.
That is good. And Rebecca, so, obviously you've said that this weekend has been one of those weekends that you're just talking about. What is it that was so challenging this weekend? What did you find? You said you learned a lot. What did you learn?
I learned that our communication together has to improve a little bit. He threw a little fit going around the arena because his tack was a little messed up. He had his tongue in between his bits. And so that started obviously before we even started the test. So I couldn't really touch him at all going in. And so that affected our entire test, obviously.
That'll do it.
So I learned.
That'll
do
it. The worst feeling. Oh, Lord.
You might as well just taken your stirrups off and drop the reins.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I learned to obviously make sure that all of my tack is properly fastened and to listen to him when he's telling me that there's an issue, that I can fix it before we go on further.
And he was definitely telling you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is a bummer. That is so hard. And if anybody's ever had that happen in a test, it is the worst feeling. You're completely, hopeless. I mean, helpless, hopeless, whatever. You can't touch them. You can't do anything. So that is tough. I'm sorry about that. But it's a good thing you guys have such a great partnership together because you were able to get through the test. And
he might forgive you in the next year or so for that.
I hope so.
So looking on, you're gonna qualify for regionals at Intermediate 1, right?
Yes.
Great. And so what are your
the plan.
Regionals, and are you going to come back to Young Riders next year, or what's your plan?
We haven't really decided what we're going to do for next year. It's still in the books. It's going to be my sophomore year of college, and so we're trying to figure out how everything works together with my riding. I want to study abroad in Germany in a year from now, and so we're trying to figure out where all the pieces fit together. So we haven't really decided what we're going to do for next year yet. Sure.
And where do you go to college? Remind me.
I go to the University of Louisville in Kentucky.
That's right. Yay. I mean, I am not a Louisville fan. I just want to put that on the record. I am a Kentucky fan, but I like that she goes to school in
at least
Louisville,
it's in Kentucky. That's something.
Well, Rebecca and I can tell you there's a terrible rivalry, and we're not going to talk about it tonight. So,
hey, Rebecca, what are you studying? What are you going for?
I am majoring in equine business with a minor in international business and entrepreneurship.
Boy, that sounds familiar, Reese.
Yeah, very, very similar to what I did. I love it. I love it. Well, cool. So, Rebecca, tell us, how is it like? What's the horse park like this week?
The horse park is insane. They are having the pony clubbers at the same time. So traffic's a little crazy, but I love the amount of people that are in the stands this year. I like that we're all supporting each other in all the events. The pony clubbers are coming to watch us, and we're going to watch them. And I think just interacting with the younger kids makes a huge impression.
Yeah. And so what is it like? I mean, you and I show at the horse park sort of all the time, but there is something special about this week at the horse park. Would you agree with me?
Yes, I do. I think it kind of lights up a little bit, and it gets a little bit more magical when, we're here competing as if we were in the Olympics, and we have our different teams that we belong to. And I feel like the team spirit is up more than just rooting for an individual person. Now you have full teams that you can root on for, and it's really cool to have all those people cheering for you when you're riding also.
Yeah, no, that must be fun with Pony Club, and because of the crowds, you guys usually wouldn't have that many people in the stands, and having more people just makes it seem more worthwhile, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. It's really cool to just have an audience that you get to perform for and do what you love.
Exactly.
And I don't think Rebecca's shy at all, is she?
No, she's not. She's awesome. She's fabulous. Well, Rebecca, we are so thankful that you came on tonight, and we wish you luck and Unico on your journey together, wherever it takes you. And we'd love to stay in touch, and we wish you luck qualifying for regionals and with school and studying in Germany and all that good stuff as you move forward. So congratulations for making the team, and thank you so much for coming on the show.
Well, thank you very much for having me.
Well, this week, the dressage tip brought to you by Total Saddle Fit, home of the shoulder relief girth, actually comes from Justin Baghai from Total Saddle Fit. Hi, Justin. How are you doing today?
Doing great. How are you guys doing?
Excellent.
Super.
Thank you for joining us tonight. And I guess we can get started with a little mini interview. Tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got into saddle fitting and that.
Well, I grew up around horses and around saddle making, so that's how I initially got into it. Ultimately, I came up fitting saddles, adjusting saddles, and that's work that I still do. But with Total Saddle Fit, we kind of took a lot of that background and just sort of funneled everything I've learned over the years into what we have now.
Well, so I love this girth. We've talked about it before on the show, and you were so kind and sent Phil and I a shoulder relief girth, and we've talked about it on the show before, and we talked about how my wonderful young horse Denali was really girthy, and I tried every girth. I patted it, I tried fleece, I did everything that I could do for him. But I never could come up with something that would make him not girthy. So when you sent us the saddle fit, sent us the girth, and I thought, okay, I'll try it. And let me tell you, within the second time I used it, he was not girthy at all. So how did you come up with this idea and this girth?
Well, first, thank you. It's really, really kind of you to say that, and it's good to know that the hard work, actually pays off here. But in terms of how does it work, is that what you were asking? Sorry.
How does it work?
I'm taking the compliment so much.
That's good. Well, how does it work, and why is it different? Because, I'm not a saddle fitter, and I always call people like yourself because I don't know enough about it. I can and basically say it fits, it doesn't fit, but I don't. Tell us why this girth works.
Well, what we did is we designed it with this cutback design, and it's got ultimately like a really deep offset from your average girth. And what that does is it lets the girth fit in the natural girth groove of the horse, but then it brings the buckles farther back, so when it attaches to the billets, it lets the billet sit a little bit further back on the horse, and it lets him be a little bit more perpendicular to the ground, and this will keep the saddle from being pulled forward. So, whether a horse is prone to pull the saddle forward over his shoulders from, like the girth groove, that's having a forward girth angle, or it happens just because he's got large shoulders, this, one way or the other, doesn't really matter what the route is, this will just help keep the saddle back away from the shoulders.
And Justin, how did you come up with the concept? Where did it all get started for this girth?
Like I mentioned real briefly there when you guys gave me that kind introduction, I come from a saddle fitting background. And it was a problem that I just noticed over and over, which is regardless of whether a saddle fit really, really well or maybe not so well, it didn't really make that big a difference that between, the good fitting ones and the poorly fitting ones, that saddles would have a tendency to either slide up against the back of the horse's shoulders or all the way over the top. And so we had some success with your kind of traditional anatomical girths, and they helped a little bit, but I knew that we could do more. So we started designing our own girth, and we really designed it with saddle fit in mind. So that was really the foundation, was we're doing this to make the saddle fit better and to keep the saddle away from the shoulders. And we went through a few iterations, kind of tested some different things. Some stuff worked, some stuff not so much. But we came up on this design, and it's actually been working really, really well. I mean, you guys were kind enough to say some good words about it, have some good success with it. And we've had a really, really awesome response from a lot of people, which is just nice to hear,
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
Now, I was checking out your website, and it says you have a 110% return policy. Is this true?
Yeah, and I know we get this question quite a bit, which people are like, is that a typo or what's going on here? But the whole reason we do it, first off, yes, it's true. We do a 110% return policy. And that's just kind of us giving our customers a vote of confidence in our product, because it really, really works. It is the real deal. There's no scams or gimmicks or, false promises here. And with the 110% return policy, the customers that try it out, or potential customers anyway, people just know that there's not really any risk. If they get it and it doesn't work, they can just send it right back. They'll actually get a little bit more than they paid for it. And then the fact of it is, though, most people do keep it. Otherwise, we probably wouldn't be in business very long if it didn't work.
You'd be out of business pretty quick, paying people to try your girth.
Exactly.
And that's not exactly what we're going for. That's maybe someday.
Exactly. So my other kind of statement question is I love the price point. It's a very accessible girth to everybody. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, we just didn't want to do one of those kind of highfalutin girths that limits access, because your average rider, and I'm going to include myself in this category, just in terms of how many expenses there are with horses, there's no way that most of us can afford to pay $450 for a girth. And so for our girth, all we really care about is the design, and the design is there. We've set that up, it works. So we were able to manufacture it at a little bit lower cost, just to make that same design and the same benefits available to a lot more people.
Perfect. Now, as promised, I think you have a dressage or a saddle fitting tip for us today, Justin. Maybe you can let us know what it is.
I do. And the tip, what it really comes down to for this week, the tip is saddle balance. And it might sound a little obvious when I just say it outward like that, but coming from saddle fitting, one of the most common issues that I just see over and over and over is saddle balance. Saddles being out of balance. And I think where that comes from is we're not as riders, most riders are not trained to look for saddle balance per se. A lot of folks like to discuss tree width a lot. So an example of this would be when a rider gets a saddle, they get a tree that's on the wide side, maybe a little bit extra wide for their horse. And the concept behind it is because, and it makes sense when we're speaking about it, the concept is we want to make sure our horses have enough room to move, we don't want to pinch them, that kind of thing. The only trouble with that is when you air too wide on a saddle, that saddle can sink down in the front, and that makes the front kind of like the low point, and you ultimately end up transferring a bunch more of the rider's weight to the front portion of the saddle, and so the horse gets a pressure point there, which is kind of the opposite effect they actually wanted. So the reason the saddle balance is so important is because once the saddle is sitting level, that's your best bet in getting even weight distribution over the top line. And, a rule of thumb is the pommel and the cantle being level. Of course, there's some variation. especially if you're talking like really deep seat dressage saddles. Sometimes the cantles stick up higher in the back, and there'll be a little variation there. But what I would encourage anybody to do, anybody who's interested or concerned with their saddle balance, is just have their friend take a side view picture of them when they're sitting in the seat, and they'll get a pretty good general idea of whether it's sitting level or not. And if anyone's interested, we actually provide a free saddle fit service. And what that means is anybody, whether they're a total saddle fit customer or not, is welcome to write us at our email address, which is care, C-A-R-E, at totalsaddlefit.com. And they can write us, send in pictures. We're happy to chat saddle fit, give people any advice if they need it, whatever they want to talk about. And it just was a little idea we came up, a way to give back. And it's kind of a unique situation where someone could get some saddle fitting advice from a company that doesn't actually sell a saddle.
That is awesome.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Wow.
That there's less bias there, maybe, and you can trust the word, right?
Yeah.
That's so cool because it is hard. You know, I know very little, and whenever I have someone like you, Justin, around, I'm like, okay, tell me at least some basic things that I need to know. But once I get past the one ABC, I'm done. I don't know what to do. And it's so hard sometimes to find a saddle, or, people have invested a lot of money in a saddle, so they're nervous. They're like, well, I've spent a lot of money, it should fit. And they come to the trainer and I'm like, it doesn't fit. We got to figure this out. So I love that idea. That's such a great idea.
Well, thank you.
Justin, I think, we've got you here tonight, and it just so happens this week we got a listener question. We got a bunch of listener questions, but maybe I can just break it down for you and ask you, put you on the spot a little bit this week and ask you a quick question. Would that be okay?
Let's do it.
All right. Here's the question. What is the main purpose of knee rolls in a dressage saddle?
It's ultimately for support. It's just one way that tack can help a rider perform the way that they need to perform. And you'll see it's actually a pretty modern thing. If you go back, 20 years to all those saddles from, 80s, 90s, or much farther back than that, there wasn't that much. It's just been an evolution, the larger thigh blocks, an evolution, because as horses get bigger, they become bigger movers. Riders just need that extra assistance, that extra support to perform.
Great answer. I didn't know that. Yeah, I'm like, I didn't know that. We were like, we're going to grab Justin on this because we have no idea. And that's a really good question. So we would love, Justin, if you don't mind, we'll snag you again if our listeners have any questions, saddle fit wise, because Philip and I are pretty useless when it comes to this. We would love to have you back on.
Well, it's like this, Reese. I mean, if I have a vet question, I know a few basics about veterinary medicine. I don't know it all. I don't even begin to pretend I know it all. So I get an expert, Right?
Exactly.
Or,
Thankfully, you have Meredith.
I have Meredith a little bit, but she'll also say, well, I don't have a ton of experience, so we get in the experts, right? So, Justin, we're going to add your name and your phone number, and it doesn't matter whether you want to or not. You're coming on for all of our saddle fitting questions. How about that?
Well, the good news is that I would absolutely love to be on again. This has been a blast.
Awesome. Well, and if anybody has any questions about the shoulder relief girth, please email Justin. So Justin, can you tell us your email again so our listeners can grab you on any questions about the girth?
Yes, we can be reached. Email is care@totalsaddlefit.com. So that first word is care, C-A-R-E. Or if they just want to check out our website, they can go to totalsaddlefit.com. They can look at the girth. There's a Q&A, or not a Q&A, but an FAQ, frequently asked questions section. And we actually have a little blog that if people are interested in saddle fit, there's a few articles there about, this and that, a little bit of tree sizing and saddle balance and billet stuff. If anyone is, kind of a tinkerer that way, I'd highly recommend checking out our blog as well.
Well, I just love that tip from Justin. He's awesome. And please feel free to send us some email if you have any more saddle fitting questions, which I know I'm going to have one when I get a new horse in. They're just you always have them. So Justin said he would answer them for us. So please send them and we will get him back on. So, but everybody, you can find our show notes and links to today's guests on our website, dressageradio.com. Like us on Facebook, just search for the Dressage Radio Show. Follow us on Twitter @Horse Radio. My website is maplecrestfarmky.com, and my email is reese@horseradionetwork.com.
You can find me at philipparksequestrian.com, and my email is philip@horseradionetwork.com. I'd like to thank our sponsors this week for allowing us to put on a great show, and don't forget to check out all the other shows on the Horse Radio Network at horseradionetwork.com.
Everybody, keep your heels down and your shoulders back, and we'll talk to you next week.